Alright guys, my name is Shervin, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to take a look at the Rogers World Elite Card and discuss why some consider it to be the best no-fee cashback credit card in Canada. Now, I've previously covered a lot of different credit cards on my channel. In fact, one of my popular videos is the 5 credit cards every Canadian must own. But there is one credit card that I've never talked about before and a number of people consider to be among the best, and that is the Rogers World Elite Card. But of course, I have very good reasons for not including this card on my must-have list, and if you watch the end of the video, you're going to find out exactly what this card offers and what the downsides of the card are. So that this way you can see why, from my point of view, this card is not as amazing as a lot of people claim it is, and you can make an informed decision as to whether this card is the right option for you or not. And of course, all that I ask from you guys is that if you're new to my channel and you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash the subscribe button down below and join the community. I make new videos about personal finance and investing on a regular basis. And by subscribing to the channel, you get to see all my new videos right as they come out. Also, if you enjoyed the video and want to support me even more, then do me a favor and smash the like button down below for the YouTube algorithm. But alright, with all that out of the way, let's get right into it. Now, as I mentioned before, this card has no annual fees whatsoever and is completely free to own as long as you always pay off your balance on time and in full. In fact, with any credit card that you own, it is always important to pay off your balance on time and in full so that you don't end up paying 20+% in interest. And of course, if you end up having late payments and you have to pay a hefty interest, then all the rewards that you get are meaningless comparatively. So before worrying about what cashbacks each credit card gets you, always make sure you're paying off your balance on time and in full. But with that said, this card gets you 3% cashback for any purchases that you make with the US dollar, and then you will receive 1.5% cashback for any other purchases that you make with Canadian dollars. Now, this card also offers a sign-up bonus where if you make at least one purchase in the first 3 months of you owning this card, you will get $25 extra cashback. So overall, decent cashback rates, especially considering the fact that you're paying no fees whatsoever. Now, the only card that is a close comparison with this is the AMEX SimplyCash Card. That card also has no annual fees whatsoever, and that card gets you 1.25% cashback on every purchase that you make. So it's very similar to this card, it's just that the Rogers World Elite gets you 0.25% more in cashback. And of course, you get a lot more cashback if you're purchasing in US dollars, but I just don't know how useful that's going to be for most people. Now, if you are someone who makes a lot of US dollar purchases with your credit card, then this card is right up your alley, feel free to go for it. But I just don't see the majority of Canadians doing that all that often. Now, there are also a number of travel and insurance benefits that come with this card, and we're going to go through them as well. Now, the most notable one is that this card gets you airport lounge access in over 1,300 locations, except it's not for free. You see, usually when premium credit cards offer airport lounge access, it is complimentary. But given that this credit card doesn't have any annual fees, I'm guessing that's just not realistic. Which is why you get the airport lounge access at a discount instead of getting it for free. Now, if you have this credit card and you go to an airport lounge, it'll cost you $32 to enter. Now, I did some research, and from what I could find, the average cost of entry into an airport lounge is between $50 to $75. So given that if you have this card, you only have to pay $32 in order to enter these airport lounges, you're basically getting entry for 50% off, or roughly thereabout. Which is not a bad deal by any means, it's just that it's not as enticing as having the option to go to airport lounges for completely free. Now, you do also get some other protections that most premium credit cards offer you, such as extended warranty, purchase protection, emergency medical insurance abroad, car rental insurance, trip delay insurance, and trip cancellation insurance. And that's all well and good, and you know what? If this card had no requirements whatsoever, I probably would have recommended it. Because you are getting a slightly higher cashback rate than the no-fee AMEX SimplyCash Card, and you do also get some other nice features like 50% off of airport lounges and some insurance coverages as well. But unfortunately, this card does not come with no requirements. In fact, the requirements that this card has, in my opinion, are the biggest downsides. Because in order to qualify for this card, you have to have a personal salary of at least $80,000 or a household income of at least $150,000. Also, on top of that, you have to spend at least $15,000 on this card every single year. Otherwise, your card is going to get canceled. Now, like I mentioned before, these are huge downsides, and in my opinion, make this card not as great as a lot of people think it is. Because for starters, a lot of Canadians just don't have these incomes. And of course, if you don't have this income, you're not going to qualify for the card, whereas the AMEX SimplyCash Card also has no annual fees, has very close cashback rates to this one, and has no income requirements whatsoever. So for most Canadians who have a lower income, they can just go with the American Express card. They don't have to even look at this card. And I would argue anyone that has a higher income than these numbers, they can just afford to pay the fee and get a much better credit card. For example, I just recently made a video about the best cashback credit card in Canada, and that is the AMEX SimplyCash Preferred Card. Now that card is the premium version of the AMEX SimplyCash Card that we were just talking about. And this premium version gets you 2% cash back on every purchase that you make, along with 4% cash back on gas and 4% cash back on groceries. And guess what? That card only costs $10 a month. And if you're spending more than $15,000 a year, like the Rogers card is going to require you to, then it is absolutely worth paying $10 a month to get a much higher cashback rate. Not to mention that that card also has a ton of other great features which I go through in my video, so if you want to check it out, I'll leave a link to it up here. But basically, if you have a higher income than what the Rogers World Elite is requiring you to have, then there's no reason to go for the no-fee credit card when you can go for a premium credit card and get a much better yield. So that's why I don't really recommend the Rogers card. I just feel like it alienates everyone because you can either not qualify for it, or if you can, then you can probably get better credit cards instead. And to anyone that is looking at this card, I would actually recommend you check out the Amex cards because they are just better. Unless, of course, you make a lot of purchases with US dollars in Canada, which if that's you, then by all means, feel free to go for the Rogers card. But that's about it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. I post there regularly, so if you want to stay up to date, make sure to follow me there. If you haven't done so already, make sure to join the community and smash the subscribe button down below so that you can see all the new videos as they come out. And also feel free to follow me on Instagram if you want to see what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis. Also, as always, if you have any questions about any of the stuff that we talked about in this video, make sure to let me know in the comments down below. I always respond to every single question that comes in. And now with all that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.